Today we are diving back into Dune Awakening because I wanted to show you guys how you can easily get your hands on some tier 6 components that you're gonna need in order to craft your plastinium, whatever you want to call it, weapons or ornithopters, whatever you're looking to craft. I'm going to show you how to get your hands on some tier 6 materials without having to even partake in any combat. This means you can technically come out here without any gear and still walk out with some tier 6 materials. Let's go ahead and jump into what I'm talking about here. First off, you're going to need a couple of things. You can't just come out here with nothing and walk away with tier 6 gear. You're going to need a static compactor first off. It doesn't need to be industrial. Any static compactor will do. You're also going to need fuel cells because you're going to be using a lot of fuel. Why are you going to be using fuel, you might ask? Well, that leads me into probably the most important part of the plan, and that is the ornithopter. You're going to need to have a scanner attached to your ornithopter, which uses a bit of extra fuel. And you're going to be flying all around the deep desert, so you're going to want to make sure that you definitely have enough fuel to do so. The method itself is as simple as can be. You're simply going to go out to the deep desert and scan for buried treasure. There is a little bit of a nuance to this whole plan here, so let's go ahead and get out there and start to showcase what I'm talking about. A couple of things I want to talk about while we're flying out into the deep desert is the fact that you don't need to actually bring any gear out here. You could come out here with nothing on, which means the only thing you're really at risk of losing is your ornithopter. And realistically, you're probably better off leaving your best gear back at the base because you are landing in the open sands quite a bit doing this. And while you're really at no risk of being there for long enough to attract the sandworm, you are at risk of having a random sandworm pop up where you happen to be. Like in this clip, for example, where we nearly had a random sandworm pop up and eat us for no particular reason. Nice and simple. Oh my gosh! And that's what I'm saying, bro. You're never fully safe out here. Okay? That literally just popped up right beside me for no reason other than to go moving off that way. Oh, my stomach hurts, bro. That hurt my stomach. Oh. Another thing that I want to bring up is you're not typically going to run into very many buried treasures, if any at all, in the first couple of sections. You're really going to want to work your way out until like the D section at least. That's where you should start running into these a whole lot more often. And by a whole lot more often, I mean practically constantly. In some areas, once you start finding these, you're literally going to find at least 2 every single time you scan, which can lead to some crazy gains when it comes to this tier 6 material. Now, I cannot confirm this, but it does seem that buried treasure does spawn a lot more around quicksand. You can see here, this is quicksand. You don't want to land on that. And there's buried treasure all over the place. So if you're looking for it and can't find any, maybe check around some of the quicksand. However, don't land on that. You can see it's just all over this quicksand. And there are some spots where you kind of get out of the quicksand here and you find this. We can for sure hit this up. And your best way to do so is to land in front of it because you pop out on the backside of your ornithopter. So to just make this as quick as possible, land in front of it, shoot it, and then you're good to go. You can see out of that one single buried treasure, we managed to find 10 Opifire gems, 3 plasteel composite blade parts, 9 plasteel plates, 7 ballistic weave fabrics, 13 the list goes on and on and on. This is an incredible way for you to farm tier 6 components very easily. And now that we've hit the quicksand, we're already running into more buried treasure. Here's 2 more right here that we're going to be able to hit up very easily. You just land right in front of it and then you uncover it. Bada boom, bada bing. Walking out, excuse me, walking out with tier 6 components, no problem. You're in and out so fast, you don't have to worry about the sandworm. Like I said, though, you do kind of have to worry about one randomly popping up. But if that happens, you know what? You were meant to get eaten by the sandworm that day anyways. You can see that you can also pull weapons out of these. However, from what I'm finding, the weapons that you can get from these are really, really bad. Like the house blade that we got right there, for example, is literally aluminum, right? It's not terrible, but it's definitely not great, especially for out here in the deep desert. And I'm pretty sure we picked up this standard Mala pistol from here as well. So this is stuff you're going to want to drop. You're not going to find the best weapons or armor out of this. But look, we got 21 advanced machinery components out of this and 17 fluid-efficient industrial pumps. And I've been out here for 5 minutes, had to partake in 0 combat, and have only really risked having a worm randomly run up on me like this right here. Another thing that I'm noticing but cannot confirm is the fact that every single time that you use your scanner, you're using up a lot of fuel. So like I said, you're definitely going to want to make sure you come out here with a decent amount of vehicle fuel cells just to make sure you don't get stuck in the deep desert. I've been all up and down the deep desert here scanning these buried materials. And the very first time I was doing it, I was over here all the way in Sector H, which is just a couple of sections away from the very back of the deep desert. And I'm almost positive, I can't say for sure, but I'm almost positive I was getting the same materials as I am now, and I'm in more of the front side of the deep desert. So I don't think that it matters how deep you are in regards to what sort of materials you're getting from these buried treasures. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have happened to... Fuck, I meant to shrink my camera a long time ago after the intro. It's way too late now. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have happened to be scanning buried treasure way deep in the deep desert and noticed an uptick in the rarity or possibly the amount of components that you're getting. But honestly, I don't think so. I think you're getting even the same amount of components out here in Sector D as you are in Sector I. Here we are, 2 more. And like I said, once you start getting into a string of these things, they really start popping up everywhere. It might be hard to find your first couple, but after you get into a string of them, they really start to pop up all over the place. You really would be, might be worth checking the quicksand area. I can't tell if this quicksand area that I'm scanning over here just has a bunch of buried treasure in it because people haven't been able to hit it, so it's just been like stacking up over the time, and that's why it looks like so much is over there. Or if, in fact, the quicksand does mean that you're running into more buried treasure. Dune Man Heavy Gloves. So as you saw, we just picked up a buried treasure all the way in Sector H, which is just a couple of sections from the very back of the deep desert. And we only got 9 Opifire gems, and we're still getting the lower level gear. So I think it's all but confirmed that it doesn't matter where you are in the deep desert when you're picking up this treasure. It's not going to change exactly what you're getting from it. So you're probably better off sticking right around in that D section there and riding up and down, finding all the buried treasure you can. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a solo's best way to come out here and get some quick tier 6 materials. And not even just solos. If you happen to be in a guild but none of you guys have very good gear in order to take on the PvE that's located out here, you might be better off kind of trying to gear yourself up by getting some of these tier 6 materials and then making that tier 6 gear before you come out here. Either way, this buried treasure is absolutely insane, especially out here in the deep desert, and it is incredibly easy to find and collect. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have any preferred ways of getting that tier 6 gear, or any gear for that matter. We recorded this entire video live right here on YouTube as well as on Twitch. I'll have a link to the Twitch down in the description if you're ever interested in stopping by. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to comment and made it down below so I can give you an extra shout out. Also, hit that like button on your way out of here. It really helps these videos get pushed into the algorithm. But other than that, I hope you guys all have an amazing day. I'm out.